What's up, YouTube? Matthew Wolfstein speaking. Sorry for the long absence of videos because college. That tends to be a common excuse nowadays. I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about what happened last night at the 89th Annual Academy Awards. Where were you on the date that such and such happened? Like, where were you the date Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated? Where were you on the date of 9/11? Where were you on the date of the Japanese attacking Pearl Harbor? You get the idea. I can certainly tell you where I was on 2/26/2017. In my living room with my mother, 2 dogs, and cat watching the 89th Annual Academy Awards. Let's go ahead and get the positives out of the way first. At least this Oscar host, Jimmy Kimmel, didn't enrage me like Chris Rock did last year. If you watched the Oscars last year like I did, you kind of get an idea of what I meant by Chris Rock not being the best Oscar host. Jimmy Kimmel, who I'm pretty sure all of you have seen his TV show, I haven't watched the show because he's a liberal, he actually wasn't that bad as a host. Thankfully, he didn't infuriate me. He at least tried to make the whole show lively. It wasn't bad like last year in terms of the Oscar host. This one actually seemed lively, but there were some jokes that really fell flat. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like the whole tour bus gag where a whole bunch of people, they think they're going to see costumes at the Academy Museum, but they instead walk into the Kodak Theater and see everybody there. Some people liked it, some people hated it. I was just indifferent to it. Twitter was exploding like crazy last night. This is my favorite tweet from someone. Can this be the last year when the technical Oscar winners are called nerds? I mean, effing really. Every craft in movies is technical. I agree with what Mr. Wright said. Oscar winners for science and technical awards are not nerds because everything in movies, cinematography, editing, sound mixing, sound editing, etc., are technical. The people who work in the science and technical Oscar area, they are not nerds. They're geniuses. The one thing that I didn't like was Jimmy Kimmel deliberately tweeting Donald Trump. Surprisingly, most of the Oscar speeches, they didn't have jabs at Donald Trump. So could it be that the liberals finally realized that playing the same tune over and over again has completely lost its impact? I don't know. But it was very refreshing because, like I said, politics are a cancer. They always ruin everyone and everything. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get on to the actual winners that I had to furiously type out on my iPad. The first winner was for Best Supporting Actor, and that went to Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. If you don't know who Mahershala Ali is, if you've seen Luke Cage, then you know who he is. He played Cottonmouth in that show. But I'm glad that Mahershala Ali won. I mean, he is a Muslim African-American, kind of like Obama, but I'm not going to go that route. But his acceptance speech was really good. Not once did he ever mention politics. That's how acceptance speeches are supposed to be done. Then we get on to, I think, documentary feature. The documentary feature winner was kind of shocking. OJ Made in America. I mean, yeah, I know. If the glove does not fit, you must acquit. I understand that, but that was a very odd choice of a winner for documentary feature. And then comes the one that really made people go, what the f on Twitter. Suicide Squad for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. I was surprised too. I thought Star Trek Beyond was going to win Best Makeup and Hairstyling, but nope. The most polarizing movie of the DC Cinematic Universe, aside from Batman vs. Superman, gets to walk away with an Oscar for Best Makeup. Okay, hairstyling, I can understand for Harley Quinn because of the hairstyling. Makeup, I can understand for Killer Croc, but Suicide Squad. I can't believe that people are going to be saying this. The Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad. Ugh, the words just have this really rancid taste on my mouth. Ew. And then, of course, Chris Stuckman on Twitter also did the same thing, like saying, I'm really surprised that Suicide Squad won for makeup and hairstyling. La La Land didn't win anything until a little bit later on in the show when it finally won for art direction, set direction, and that was like a little bit near the end of the show. Arrival, the science fiction film, it only walked away with 1 Oscar, sound editing. I thought it was going to go to Hacksaw Ridge because usually in these kind of scenarios, when war movies are nominated for the Oscars, they always win sound mixing and sound editing. But Arrival took away the sound editing. But Hacksaw Ridge did win for sound mixing. Next up is, I know, the one that a lot of people were anticipating for animated feature and animated short film. Piper, which played Before Finding Dory, it won Best Animated Short Film, so congratulations. Zootopia walked away with the Best Animated Feature Oscar. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, did all of the furries in the furry community said, finally, a movie that talks about tolerance and prejudice as told by anthropomorphic animals is considered the best animated movie of 2016. Majira said, yay, Zootopia won the Oscar. I was like, yes, it certainly did. Best foreign language film, I thought Australia's Tanma was going to win, but no, The Salesman from Iran won, so sorry Australia, you didn't get the Oscar gold. Better luck next time, mates. I apologize if I offended any Australians watching this with my bad accent. I apologize fully. And I know that in the news, the cinematographer of the documentary short subject The White Helmets and the director of The Salesman were not at the Oscars because of the travel ban. I understand that the travel ban is wrong. If you already have your papers and you already are a legal citizen of the United States despite the country you came from, you shouldn't be deported back to wherever you came from. But what do I know? I'm just a movie guy, not a politician. Film editing, Hacksaw Ridge won. I was thinking either Arrival or La La Land was going to win for editing, but nope. Hacksaw Ridge won. I haven't seen the movie, but I know some people are going to be like, what? Why did Hacksaw Ridge win? It has the most terrible editing ever. Again, I'm just a movie guy. I'm not a member of the Academy. Jungle Book, Jon Favreau's Jungle Book won Best Visual Effects. And rightfully so, because if you've seen that movie, the animals look so real. La La Land won for song and score. Who'd have guessed? It's a musical. They usually sometimes win those Oscars for original song and score. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them won only one Oscar, Best Costume Design. I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts, but when I looked at the trailer and I looked at the costumes and it has that period detail, I'm like, yeah, I can see why it won for Best Costume Design. La La Land also got Best Cinematography, so again, beautiful 2:35:1 CinemaScope aspect ratio where there's not much shaky cam or cross zooms or anything like that. I can understand why it won Best Cinematography. Screenplays. Manchester by the Sea finally gets an Oscar. And it was for the original screenplay. And that's the movie that Matt Damon produced alongside with Amazon itself. Yes, the same Amazon that also has Amazon Prime and such. They produced Manchester by the Sea and it got original screenplay and actor for Casey Affleck. I know it was a big tie. Like, some people were saying Denzel Washington was going to win for Fences. Some people were going to say Casey Affleck was going to win for Manchester by the Sea. Turns out the latter was correct. Viola Davis won for Fences. Congratulations, you got an Oscar for Fences. But your acceptance speech was weird. Emma Stone won for La La Land. Thank you. Now I don't need to hear Meryl Streep keep on bashing Donald Trump because that is getting old really fast. Damien Chazelle is the youngest Oscar-winning director to get an Oscar. The record was held by Norman Taurog, who had won for Best Directing in 1931. Chazelle made Oscar history by being the youngest director to win an Oscar. And it's his first director Oscar, so he gets to join the same league as Kevin Costner, Clint Eastwood, and now Best Picture. I now need to rewrite the thing because if you all remember, let me make sure it's all typed out perfectly. If you remember, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty came out on stage to announce the winner of the Best Picture Oscar, the highest honor in the entire history of the Oscars, which you can say that this movie is considered the best movie of the year. Warren Beatty stepped out with Faye Dunaway, and then they said, here are the nominees. So they read off the 9 names of the nominees, and this is where things get really kooky, like something out of an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Warren Beatty opens the envelope, the drum roll is going, I'm biting on my nails, my mother is also doing the same thing, wondering who's going to win. He opens the red envelope, he puts the white card over, and then he kind of stammers a bit. I mean, he's been away from Hollywood since 2001 with Town and Country, a really terrible movie, but he did make a comeback in 2016 with Rules Don't Apply. But he was a bit nervous. I mean, it was on the moment. And he kind of stammered a little bit, like saying, and the winner is, and then for some odd reason, he decides to give it to Faye Dunaway, who immediately looks down and says, La La Land. Everyone in the crowd explodes because they thought La La Land was going to win. And then the three people who produced La La Land, they come on stage and they're already doing their acceptance speech, but then someone tells the producer who is finishing his acceptance speech, he says, there appears to be a mistake. Actually, Moonlight, you're the best picture of 2016. I'm not kidding. And he deliberately turns the card around, and in big black bold letters it says Moonlight. The Oscars just pulled a Steve Harvey on us, ladies and gentlemen. What just happened? What the hell happened? Even on Twitter, and even John Campea of Collider Movie Talk, he even mentioned the same thing. He was like, what the hell? Even Chris Stuckman tweeted it. I actually have his tweet saved here. Yeah, here's Chris Stuckman's tweet right there. He was just as surprised as I was. That's crazy. Congrats to Moonlight. Also a great film. Has that ever happened before? Even Andre the Black Nerd, he even put up this gif of Steve Harvey when he was watching the Oscars. Oh my gosh, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty, what have you done? What have you done? I think this is the first time in my viewpoint in the 89-year history of the Oscars that such a big flub has ever happened in front of millions of people. Oh my gosh. The 89th Annual Academy Awards, they are now going to live in infamy as being the Steve Harvey moment. We just got Harvey'd, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everybody for watching. If you want to comment on how you felt about the Oscars, drop a comment down below and I will gladly reply to it. And as always, if you want to see more content, give that subscribe button some love. Till next time, this is Matthew Wolfstein.